Okay, so for this part, I make some changes for him, like where he's saying, "Don't control selfie kapos diakia." So I play this, log drum plus the bass. Yeah, this actually is my favorite part. What up, guys? This is Diamond Gidem again. So today I want to show you guys how I make the beat for this song right here, Natallo ST featuring AN2. So binkanay tandala nganying song na bito da nyame nga ko sinyadile. So without wasting much of your time, let's dive into it. Yeah, so for this song actually I first start the beat with my drums. Diamond Gidem as usual, I mostly start my beat with the drums. So here is how the drums are sounding. This is all for the drums actually. Together with the vocal sounds like
la credit sana. Oh no. Snapo kampaleni ngampade. Abe everine wolatina.
Okay, here.
Abe everine wolatina.
Yeah, I put this, camera kind of effect because, the song is actually talking about Natallo. So this is what I put in the roll here. Here how it's sounding. More glad, that is to give it that, camera. It's like, they are taking pictures and stuff. So yeah, so that's how it is sounding there. Okay, so in the chorus here, I changed the pattern of the kick. In the verse, the kick was coming and going, but in the chorus, I, play that steady bounce there, to give it that, Afro bounce. Yeah, so that was all for our drums. So here comes to our melodies. This is how the melodies actually started. It was just some simple progressions, Yeah, so that one together with these other sounds. This sound is actually giving it, that Chinese kind of vibe, like never Chinese movie Jibeka, it can sound if play. This is how it's sounding along. Like when you hear this sound, it will actually remind you with that, Yeah. So that one together with everything sounds like this. Yeah, then from there I add up this guitar, ample guitar sound. This is how it's sounding along. Yeah, I add up that one also still to, have this particular, sound that I want, So yeah, it's how everything sounding together. Yeah, I played this one also there. Yeah, all these to, just to have that sound that I want, So that one together with these sounds like this. Then from there, I add in my bass, rolling bass to give it the body, that, bass. Yeah, I actually use so many different sounds to be able to achieve, I play different, guitar sounds to have what actually I want, Yeah, so that's why sometimes it is, very difficult for people, like if they want to recreate your beats, like they will hear some sounds in it thinking that you only use one particular sound to be able to achieve that without knowing that, you use different sounds to have that. So it can be confusing, So here's how everything sounding from the intro, And this, what is this? Wow. This one actually also is a bass, like, it's also supporting that running bass, still giving it that jumbo and sauce, Then I add in this guitar, also there. Yeah, actually, I think I got this from Arcade. I got this from Arcade. Here is how it sounded alone. Yeah, so that was how that one is sounding. Yeah, so after that, I added this vocal chop. Here is how the vocal chop sounds alone. You know, if you know me, you know, like I am so used to using vocal chops in my beats, you know, because they add that, you know, ear candies to me, you know. Then I think that was all for the melodies from the intro. Later I introduce some other stuffs in the chorus, you know, but from the intro to the verse, this was all for the melodies. Then we add in our drums together with the melody. Sounds like this. Wow, of course, why can I review a bit and forgot my tag? You know, the Mighty Diamond Gidam tag. Here is how it is sounding. Diamond Gidam. Natallo bena battery banna. Yeah.
Remember the credits, Anna. No.
Okay, so in the verse, I introduced this sound, plug sound. Here is how it sounds. You know, it is responding ST. You know, when ST says Natallo bena battery banna, like this one is responding to that one. Here is how it sounds.
Natallo bena battery banna. Yeah. Remember the credits, Anna. No. Snapo kampaleni ngampari.
Okay, what is this? Wow, this one also was playing in the intro. So here is that one. So all these to have, you know, that sweetness that I want in my beat. Here is how that one sounds alone. You know, like I am fusing that R&B vibes into, you know, this song. Actually, like I have so many different cultures, like having that R&B vibe, that, you know, Afrobeat vibe, and that Chinese vibe, you know, fuse everything into one beat, you know. So it's actually crazy, you know. Yeah.
Natallo bena battery banna. Yeah. Remember the credits, Anna. No. Snapo kampaleni ngampari.
So when the chorus comes, I add in some stuff, you know. I bring in this sound. Here is how it sounds. You know. Okay, instead of I play a bass there, I use log drums as my bass. And I think let me check that. I actually stack up some log drum sounds and some bass sounds, you know. So that one is giving it that, Yeah, so there is one synth sound also playing here. It sounds like, which is this. Yeah, it's how it sounds. Oh, okay, it is being automated. Where is my automation? Okay. Like I tell you, you know, this song is a fusion of everything, you know, that, you know, like I'm a piano, Afrobeat, R&B, Chinese, you know, I mix up everything here. You know, that one, because when he was saying Natallo fele nyada fele, so I think I have to bring up something that will be accompanying that. Okay, so So in this part also, I play the bass very differently. I wanted to have that I don't know. Let me play the bass how it's sounding. So it is giving it that Afrobeat bounce by force. Like making you to dance by force. So that one together sounds like this.
Natallo, Ndiri na Natallo, na memory dalo. There was someone that say look, party to after party. Me da Natallo, fele, nyana fele, nani mangwe nya senjele, level fele, ndio tapitale, nyina la yangu mabandi kanjele, lazo fele, do panam fele, meka jugele ko tele no tele, nani fele, mabalo fele, bigane.
What is this one here? Oh wow. All this to give it that sweetness, this with this plan. Let me see, which one is this? So you see, this one is adding up that amapiano vibe into the beat, So it's actually crazy. There are so many things in there. Yes, I mean that was all for the beat. I think I made some changes in Antu's verse. So for this part, I make some changes for him. Like where he's saying, so I played this, log drum plus the bass. Actually, it's my favorite part. Yeah. That one, without the vocal sounds like. Yeah, so that was all for the beat. It was not really difficult. Big shout out to my guy Elvis. I co-produced this song with him. I sent him the sound. Was like, bro, I make this song for ST, and I want you to listen to it and add up some stuff. Yeah, so thank you all for following me. More breakdowns coming up soon.